Hey everyone, it's Miss Leffel. Okay, so today we're going to work on some teen numbers using a double 10 frame. So we've talked about 10 frames before up until the number 10. So I'm just going to do a little review to jog our memories. So this, you see how they are separated by the pink? So this is one 10 frame up here. And this is the other 10 frame down here. So instead of just having one 10 frame like we usually do, now we have two. Okay, so let's focus on our first 10 frame before we get started with our second 10 frame, just a little refresher. So remember, it is called a 10 frame because it houses 10 spots. So if I fill up the whole first row, we already know in our heads that that is how many? Yes, 5. 5 altogether. Our first row is 5. So we don't even need to count this. We just already know in our head that's 5. So if I added a couple more, we wouldn't have to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can just count on. Remember, counting on is saying 5, 6, 7. Count on 5, 6, 7, or 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we don't have to spend all our time counting each one. We can do what's called counting on. Now, if I fill up my whole 10 frame up here, how many do we have now? 10. Do we need to count each one? No. We already know in our brains that this whole thing is 10. So we have 10. Now, we're going to go beyond 10 today. We're going to go all the way to 20, and we're going to do this using our double 10 frame. We are going to figure out what the number is. We are going to figure out how to write the number. And we're going to practice our counting on. So I'm going to leave all of our dots in our 10 frame on top because we are working with teen numbers today. Those are numbers above 10. Okay, so let's start out easy. Okay. So we don't have to count the top. Remember, we already know in our head that this is how many? 10. This whole thing is 10. So let's count on 10, 11. So this is the number 11. 11 is 1 10 and 1 1. 11. Easy. Let's try another one. Okay, so this is going to be 10 and 3. So if we counted on, it would be 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 is 1 10 and 3 1s. Now if we put it in a number bond, we could break it up into 10 and 3. 13. Okay, let's try this one. Okay, so I have filled up the first row in my number bond. So we know in our brains that if we fill up the first row, that is how many? 5. So we have 10 and 5. 1 10, 5 1s. That's the number 15. Let's make sure by counting on 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So if we put this number in the number bond, we would have 10 and 5. Very good. 10 and 5 is 15. Ten and 2. 1 10, 2 ones. 10, 11, 12. What number do we have? 12. If we put in a number bond, 12 would be 10 and 2. 10 and 2 is 12. 1 10, 2 ones. Okay, this is getting big, so let's count on. We have 10, then count on. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 is 1 10 and 6 ones. Make sure you're not writing your number backwards. Don't put 6 and 1. No way, Jose. That is not correct. That number is 61. 61 is way bigger than 16. So make sure when we're using our T numbers, we're writing our 110 first. If we broke this into a number bond, we're going to put our whole number in the middle bond. Then our number bond is broken into 2 10 frames. We have one 10 frame that has the number 10, and our second 10 frame has the number 6. So 16 is 10 and 6. 1 10 and 6 ones. Big numbers. Let's count on with 10. Remember, this whole 10 frame is full, so how many is up here? Yes, 10, then count on. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 is 1 10 and 8 ones. 18. When we put this number in the number bond, we put our whole number in the middle bond. 18. Then we break it into 2 parts. Our 2 parts are in our 2 10 frames. 10 at the top, 8 in the bottom one. So 18 is 10 and 8. Who's ready to count? Here we go, we're counting on. We know how many is at the top? 10, very good. Let's count on. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 is 1 10 and 7 ones. When you hear teen, what number goes first? Exactly, the 1 goes first. Not the 17. We don't put the 7 first. We put the 1 first because it's 1 10 and 7 ones. 17. Our whole number goes at the top. What's our whole number? 17. Now we need our 2 parts. One 1 10 frame is 1 part. The other 10 frame is the other part. At the top, it's all full, so we know there are 10. The bottom part is our 1s, and that would be 7. 10 and 7 make 17. All right, another strategy you can use is counting by 5s. So if each row it has 5 in it, we can count by 5s and count each row quickly, and then count on for the 1s. So let me show you how it works. 5, 10, 15, count on, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19 is 1 10 and 9 ones. If you aren't counting by 5s yet, you can visit my other video about counting by 5s and practice that before we start this. If you are counting by 5s, practice this too. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. You can always count on if you're not comfortable counting by 5s. 19. Put it in a 10 frame. Our whole number is 19, goes in the middle. When we do number bonds, we break them into 2. So the first part is the top bond, 10 frame, and the bottom part is the other part. The top 10 frame is the first part, the bottom 10 frame is the other part. So the top 10 frame is 10, and the bottom 10 frame is 9. So our number bond is 19 is 10 and 9. Oh, there's a visitor. Hey, monkeys. He wants to learn some math. All right, last one. Here we go. Both 10 frames are full. So that means we have 2 10s. So if both 10 frames are full, we would have 2 10s and 0 1s. 20. You can count by 10s. 10, 20. Or you can count on 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20. If you see 2 full 10 frames, that is 20. Now watch what happens when we break it apart. 20 is our whole number. How many is in our top 10 frame? How many is in our bottom 10 frame? So 20 is 2 10s. All right, that's pretty much all I've got on this. I'm gonna link the 10 frame down below. practice writing teen numbers. Just shout them out. Write 13. Write 19. You could fill a top line on a page and have them write the numbers downwards. Just step 1, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. You could use the 10 frame, call out numbers, have them fill the 10 frame, have them write the number and break it into 2 parts on a number bond. The choices are yours. So it just depends on where your child is academically, what strategy you should use. So kind of feel them out, get an idea of where they're at. If they need help writing numbers, make sure they're writing their numbers. Make sure they're writing them the correct way. You don't want to get into bad habits. There's a video about writing numbers on here too. If they're still working on counting by 5s and 10s, there's a video for that on here. You can also use this for adding. So if you had 2 different colors, you could do, you could turn this into an addition problem. 10 plus 10 equals 20. We can start adding and subtracting with teen numbers too. So however you want, I'm going to drop some resources down below. Happy learning.